Hello, hello, and welcome back to Temptations Ballad. We're still here with Gronk being fun. Cole crossed his closed his gaping maw and cleared his throat loudly. He absolutely will not allow this old bear to fluster him like this. Focus. Right. We got some questions for you. We have some questions about the delivery mission you gave Artemi yesterday. Why did you suddenly hand it off to her? She's literally the most unreliable delivery person you could have possibly chosen. Artemia grumbled and elbowed his side sharply. Rude. Hey, I was just telling it like it is. While honesty is a virtue, I believe it should be applied conservatively. Cole rubbed the sore rib with a pout. What happened to you? You were so meek and polite yesterday. Upon meeting you, I have since discovered that patience is a limited resource. Wow. Artemi, stop being great. I'm supposed to like Cole the most. Cole turned towards Gronk with exasperation. You gave the very important crown to this. Gronk chuckled. I simply wanted to give dear Artemi an excuse to go out and stretch her legs. A young lady shouldn't be cooped up in a dusty cathedral for her whole life. He sighed, ruefully? Okay. It was supposed to be a simple task. I never imagined things would get so serious. Cole scratched his chin and stared at Gronk suspiciously. Is that the entire reason? The old bear's smile faltered before returning with a mischievous chuckle. I admit that I partially did it out of spite. Yes, yesterday morning, I ran into our dear bishop giving Artemi another one of her harsh lectures. That never sat well with me. Then it dawned on me, I could kill two birds with one stone. Artemi could take on the simple delivery job, and I could deeply annoy the bishop in one fell swoop. Knight Commander, you should really act more amiable around Her Excellency. Gronk waved his hand dismissively. She knows I don't like her. There's no point pretending otherwise. Artemi sighed and stared down at her feet. Just once, I wish everyone could get along. Should your mother decide to treat you with dignity, I shall extend the same kindness to her. Alas, that day has yet to come. Cole glanced at Artemi with concern. He had noticed since yesterday she had a habit of gnawing at her thumb of her glove when she was especially anxious. Yeah. It's probably best that they change the subject. So you decided to give the delivery order to Artemi last minute, on a whim. Nobody else knows about it. Gronk scratched his chin thoughtfully. Well, I received notice of this mission the other day before from the prince. His Highness mentioned offhand that he had always wanted to meet the creator's chosen, so that might have played a part in my decision. Besides that, nothing else came to mind. I see. Sorry, could you excuse me for a moment? Cole pondered himself from... Pardoned, yes. Himself from everyone and pretended to adjust his pants loincloth in the corner. As soon as he was at a discreet distance, he nudged his pocket urgently. Hey, Noodle, you there? The ball python poked his head out and immediately grimaced.
Ah, this place smells disgusting. The stench of celestial magic is everywhere. How can you stand it? Duh, I think I'm going to vomit. Stay with me, you little shit. Demons are pretty sensitive to magic, yeah. Can you sense if the Knight Commander has been manipulated anyway?
Malice hissed indignantly.
Why in the world would I even help a puny mortal like you?
I'll get us another helping of Miss Shriekwood's cheesy bread, if you help out.
Deal!
Cole blinked. The demon agreed much faster than he expected. Malice flicked out his tongue at Grank in the distance, who was chatting merrily with Artemi and said. He flinched and gagged loudly.
Ugh, utterly vile. He stinks of celestial magic, almost as much as your shiny friend with the anxiety. Come on, give me something useful.
The snake shook his head and focused again. His eyes suddenly flashed a deep red. The mind link between the two of them held strong. Cole felt his own eyes water and ache with a strain of arcane magic.
What the hell are you doing? Clairvoyancy!
The snake peered towards Gronk, across the room with glowing red eyes. Cole gulped and shifted his position in an attempt to hide the dim crimson light. Scarlet, that's what it said.
Oh my! What is it? What did you see? Look at the size of that thing! This man is packing! Dude, focus. I don't want to hear that from you, of all people.
Malice observed further.
There are only slight traces, but there seems to be leftover fragments of some sort of spell. Not very strong. Suggestion, perhaps. Suggestion? It is a weaker version of your charm person spell. However, it is much more discreet. It is strong, though. It is strange, though. Paladins are supposed to be resistant to mind control.
Cole scratched his chin thoughtfully.
There's a high chance that the prince cast suggestion spell on Gronk to get him to pass the delivery onto Artemi. But why, though? Did he want his crown to get stolen?
Cole peered at his demon companion.
What are you demon folk planning?
Malice rolled his neck in a snake equivalent of a shrug.
How?
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, puny mortal. I have no idea. I just agreed to all of these because I wanted to travel to the material plane. All my siblings have come here before. It's high time I get the opportunity as well. The general gist of the deal with our summoner was to just make contact with mortals and collect their negative emotions. These negative emotions are then used as fuel for our infernal strength. And the crown ended up in an illegal trading ring, where the rubies were scattered among various shady people who are rife with negative emotion. Things are slowly starting to make sense.
Oh, okay. Prinsu.
What can you tell us about the prince? I don't think I've actually ever seen the guy before.
Gronk chuckled, but his smile did not reach his eyes.
The smile is a timid and shy young man, who is around your age, I believe. I serve as his personal protector from time to time. A rather unfortunate necessity, considering his unorthodox origins.
What do you mean?
King Roderick and Queen Tabitha were an infamously a barren couple. Throughout their reign, they failed again and again to conceive a child of their own. Many grew worried about how the line of succession Yeah, succession. Yeah, yes. Yes.
It's fine. I was worried I just completed that word in my head, and that was not the word that was actually written out. It's fine, though.
Would be handled when the time comes. Then a few years ago, suddenly, out of the blue, His Majesty introduced Prince Cassius to the world as their only son. Many people question his lineage, his legitimacy, but the family or resemblance is undeniable. King Roderick was quick to silence anyone who questioned the prince's status.
I think I remember this announcement. There was a lot of gossip and rumors surrounding the whole thing. A prince just showed up out of nowhere? Cole scratched his chin thoughtfully. If I may ask, how did the king and queen die? I don't think I've heard any public details about it.
As you know, Queen Tabitha has always had had been very sickly throughout her life.
Okay.
The king toiled day and night to find a cure for her condition, and set countless researchers and healers on the task. The only reason she had survived so long was due to King Roderick's arcane prowess supporting her. Alas, it was not enough. The queen passed away from her sickness around a week ago. King Roderick was beside himself with grief. None of the servants could coax His Majesty to eat or rest. He died shortly from exhaustion and grief a few days later. That's horrible. They're not even that old.
May they rest peacefully in the Creator's embrace. How did the prince take all of this?
Though the poor boy was a nervous wreck. He had been, he had always been an anxious man before, but the passing of the both of his parents did a number on his nerves. One could scarcely walk in his general direction without him jumping in fright.
About the crown. Yeah, I've got a question. Why does the prince want a crown that looks straight out of an evil fairy tale? That can't be good for his reputation. Gronk shrugged.
No, I didn't design it. I didn't design the darn thing. The crown was ordered by King Roderick to be created by one of his loyal arcane researchers back when our dear king was still alive. I hear that the crown has some special magical properties, but I am unsure of the specifics.
Couldn't the king ask for a more friendly design? Dark, pointy, and mysterious, and doesn't exactly do him any favors. Someone could have at least told him told him it was a bad idea. Grunt gave Cole a pointed look.
Ah, yes. Your Majesty, do you accept constructive criticism? Your taste in fashion is shit.
I mean, I think that he should. I think everyone should. Criticizing designs is fun. Shameless plug for the Pokemon Gen Critique series on the channel. There's a playlist. Yeah. Okay, point taken. We'll introduce ourselves last, because I'm a forgetful person, and sometimes I just don't introduce myself, and by that I mean I never introduce myself. I kind of just walk in and act like I own the place. Either that or I sit there by myself looking at porn on my phone, but it is what it is. Oh, right. Where are my manners? I'm Cole Bonebreaker, and this is my lackey and muscle, Sid. And obviously you know Artemi. Chosen one, a goody two-shoes, hyperventilating mess. Hey. It's a pleasure to meet you. Gronk's eyebrows perk with interest.
Bonebreaker? Ah, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. I've had many encounters with your father in the past, young Cole.
You have?
During his reign of terror, when Morrow Bonebreaker and his band of merry gay men,
No. On point, sir.
pillaged the nobility of the riches, I was tasked with stopping him. Alas, I never succeeded in capturing him. I am glad for my failure, however. Your father is a good man, with admirable intentions and questionable methods.
Cole puffed out his chest with pride.
Of course, you can't even touch Papa. His strength as a mercenary is even greater than the legends.
Gronk sighed, eyes filled with nostalgia.
I admit, the real challenge was fending off his partner, Hamish. That man is a fiend. Dashing in and out of the shadows like a ghost, raining arrows and entangling my soldiers in the most complex trap wires. The battle was already lost before we could even reach your father. Those two make a deadly duo.
Cole grumbled.
Now you're just giving him too much credit. Papa did most of the heavy lifting on the front lines.
Gronk chuckled quietly.
With such legends raising you, I suppose we can expect great things from you in the future, Cole Bonebreaker.
Yeah, I suppose you can.
Gronk turned towards Sid with a gentle smile.
And you, young man, where do you hail from?
Oh, I'm not from some legendary mercenary family, or some chosen hero. I'm just some commoner. Artemi ran into yesterday, but I'm happy to help out. A proud laugh escapes Gronk as he thumps Sid on the back. Okay.
Humble beginnings. I, too, began from a humble start. Far more than you, I dare say. Hold your head high, boy. There is no shame in your origin, only pride. I have no doubt that you have much to offer.
Really? You think so?
If I can make it this far, so can you, son.
Cole fell silent and peered at the old bear curiously. The highest-ranking knight commander came from a humble start. It wasn't an impossible idea. The church was quite fond of a feel-good success stories. But reality, on the other hand. Cole's eyes narrowed. Something wasn't adding up. As their conversation dragged on, Gronk caught sight of Cole's suspicious glances. An oddly satisfied smile spreads across his face. The polar bear turned towards Artemi.
Artemi, why don't you show your new friend around the cathedral? I'd like a word in private with your adventuring party leader, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's an excellent idea. Come, Sir Sid. The cathedral has the most stunning courtyard.
Hey, wait up!
We gonna fuck? Like, come on. Artemi eagerly dragged a surprised Sid outside without a second thought. Gronk waited patiently for the two to, English is stupid, to move out of earshot before turning towards Cole.
What's this all about?
You have been staring at me with those perceptive eyes, young man. I figured that there was something you wanted to discuss.
Cole peered at the knight commander strangely.
Yeah, something's been bothering me. Your name is Gronk. Gronk Stormborn. That sounds awfully...
The smile on the bear's face grew with an amused glint.
Go on.
Cole swallowed down his nervousness.
That doesn't sound like a name a highborn knight commander would have. Usually nobles would name their kids something more like elegant. No offense, sir.
None taken.
And Stormborn. And that's more of a given title than an actual surname. Grunk let out a juvenile bark.
Amusing coming from someone named Bonebreaker.
The entire guild's like 99% sure that Papa renamed himself that at some point. Yo, does anyone else like really like the song 99% by Bull? You know, the second opening theme to a famed cult classic Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? If you got a problem with our name, you can direct your complaints to Papa. Cole cleared his throat loudly. Anyway, this all points to you starting off as a lowborn, but somehow worked yourself up to the position of Knight Commander, and even somehow earned yourself a title. Forgive me for my rudeness, but that doesn't sound very in character for this church. So what's your whole deal? You're no ordinary Knight Commander. Grunk laughed.
My, what a sharp mind you have. Artemi has chosen her friends well. You are correct in all of your observations. Before my time at the church, I had no surname, because in my youth, I was just another low-born street urchin, among many in the apathetic city. An urchin who grew up to be a petty criminal. And from petty criminal to a true menace to society.
Grunk watched Cole's shock with amusement.
Oh, the church does its best to hide the fact that they're a great Knight Commander. This fact about their great Knight Commander, but I have no shame in it. I did what I must in order to survive. The church didn't see it that way, as you might expect. Gradually, the city guards captured me and deemed me unworthy to live among my fellow men.
Gronk's jolly, perpetual smile faded a little.
But then a miracle happened. On the day of my execution, where I was to be hung, I was suddenly blessed by the Creator's holy flame. Instead of dying on the rope, gold flames enveloped my body and freed me. And my wounds were healed, all my pains undone. And ever since that day, I had been blessed with the great celestial power.
He raised an armored hand to demonstrate. Golden fire suddenly fluttered across his palm with an abnormally bright glow for a flame of its size. Cole watched his display of celestial magic with fascination. It felt similar to Artemi's display of magic from yesterday, but completely different at the same time. Grunk's flame danced gently in the air with a warm, welcoming glow, like a cozy hearth in winter. It gave Cole a protective sensation, as though someone was wrapping him up in a big, fluffy sweater. Artemi's magic, on the other hand, felt angrier, sharper, more intense, like the enraged screams of lightning that bled across a stormy sky. It was extraordinary how the same breed of celestial power could take such different forms. This magic is from the Creator's blessing. Gronk nodded. There was a solemn wariness in his eyes.
Indeed. Perhaps not powerful enough to be considered the Creator's chosen, but I undeniably received her blessing nevertheless. Nonetheless, whatever. The discovery that a criminal was protected by the Creator sent the clerics of the church scrambling for an explanation. Some insisted that I should be hanged again, while others considered this a form of divine intervention. After a lot of squabbling, the church deemed that the Creator had a plan for me, and worked to reform me into the Holy Knight under their name. It took countless lectures and no small number of beatings, but they managed to get their way.
The knight sighed with a nostalgic smile.
And with that, the criminal Gronk was straightened out into the respectable holy knight, Gronk Stormborn. Apparently I am, fairly good at what I do. After years of service, I climbed the ranks within the church and became the esteemed Knight Commander, and also the greatest stain upon the church's history of blessed knights.
Cole sat quietly throughout Gronk's tale, his mind reeling.
Why are you telling me all this?
Gronk shrugged nonchalantly.
Because you asked.
What? You're open to sharing everything? Just like that?
Like I said, I am not ashamed of my origins. I have made no attempt to hide myself. My fellow churchgoers make an effort to hush this information from the public. However,
does Artemi know?
Gronk's shoulders suddenly stiffened.
She does not.
Why?
Unlike you, she simply never asked. I admit, the way she looks upon me with such undying faith, as though I am a man who could do no wrong. It warms my soul. I dread the day where I must disappoint her with reality. Perhaps a friend like you could help lessen the blow.
The Knight Commander let out a deep sigh and kneeled down to stare at Cole at eye level. Under all the jolly smiling and cheers, there was an exhausted air in the old bear.
Colody Bonebreaker, might this old bear ask a favor of you?
Huh?
You are the leader of Artemi's adventuring party, are you not? I ask that you keep an eye out on her, and support her with all your might, should she ever need it. Do it for this old bear, won't you?
Gronk's gaze drifted off.
One day, she will venture into situations that I can no longer aid her in. I will have a greater peace of mind knowing that she has good friends looking out for her.
Why are you asking this of me?
You are the son of the cunning Hamish of the Bonebreaker Mercenary Guild. That much is clear from your sharp wit. If you are even half of the man your father is, I know I can trust you with this task.
Cole's stomach churned uncomfortably.
Well, that's new. I can promise you. But I'm kinda a chronic liar, so I'm not sure how much peace of mind that'll give you.
Ah, I am well versed with the folly of the young. Even an empty promise is enough to instill an idea in your mind.
Gronk smirked.
You may act tough, but guilt is one hell of a motivator.
Cole scowled and crossed his arms defiantly.
We'll see about that. Before I go, I've got one question to ask.
Ask away, young man.
Cole paused hesitantly.
Do you really believe you were blessed by the Creator?
Gronk shrugged.
Perhaps. Perhaps this was all a freak accident, or maybe the Creator has a very sick sense of humor. I admit, I wasn't happy about my place in life, but...
Gronk glanced across the cathedral at Artemi, chatting excitedly with Sid. His face softened.
Sometimes, there are things worth living for.
Okay. I'll, end the part here. So I'll see you around, everyone.